Haliey Welch rose to fame by saying something very gross on TV. Now, people are feeling very gross about her as a cryptocurrency she launched with her moniker on it has cost people millions of dollars. It now may be that the Hawk Girl needs to talk to an attorney real fast because jail time could be coming up. It's a cautionary tale of what can happen if you get fame far too quickly. Well, it's a beautiful day here on the Pro Ranch, and we're happy to have Culture Casino joining us to talk about a young woman who rose to stardom on a comet of lewdness, and now the comments are very lewd coming her way. Culture Casino, before we go that way, welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me. I'm always excited to be hanging out with you, Pro, and this is an interesting subject matter, so I think we'll get some conversation out of this one.
It is, and folks, we want to remind you that we typically do not aim this low. And so don't think that we're just here to clickbait. There's a bigger, broader, more important conversation that we are determined to have that we felt necessary, and that's why we've got the topic we do. Here's what we've got. This is the young lady. Her real name, of course, is not Hawk. Okay, that's not actually her actual name. I know. Haliey Welch is her name, Culture. And Haliey Welch became famous for doing something not safe for work and lewd in a video that pushed her to Z-tier stardom. But it also gained her that coveted, I suppose, in this generation, influencer title. And so here's how she's using that influence. This is from Shuriken. It says, want to steal $50 million? Well, she did. She launched a coin, rugged it, and then shamelessly went to sleep like nothing happened. Here is how Hawk Girl stole $50 million from her fans. And you can see over here this. Now, Culture, we're not alleging that she stole anything. That's not what we're alleging. We're just reading this. But we will get into some articles now to explain this. But Culture, this is a young woman who clearly is not highly sophisticated. At least that's my general observation. Mm-hmm. She didn't rise to stardom being sophisticated. In fact, it was the opposite. Mm-hmm. And I think this is yet again another tale of how rising to very fast, what would you say? Minor celebrity status.
Yeah.
There are sharks in the waters, and they will take advantage of you and your 15 minutes of fame rather quickly. And I think that she may actually be in trouble now where she needs to lawyer up. And jail time might be headed her way. I'll get your initial thoughts before we read this article. Go ahead, Culture.
Well, if it's a pump and dump scheme and she was aware of that happening, which, is pretty easy to figure out, believe it or not, then yeah, she probably is in a whole heap of legal trouble, especially of the financial kind. A lot of people are going to call for that on a rug pull, but I still want to believe that she is naive enough and unsophisticated enough that, all she thought she was doing was lending her name and image and influence to a meme coin.
Is ignorance, though, going to be a satisfactory defense in this?
No, but like I said, if you want to analyze what's going on here, I don't think that's a satisfactory defense, but I do believe that she could be unaware of the fact that they were going to rug pull this coin. I mean, it happens regularly.
So it's so in other words, Culture, so we specify this for the audience. Mm-hmm. That is a defense in terms of the ethics of this.
Right.
And it may be sufficient to get a judge to reduce whatever penalty comes her way should she be found guilty. We're not assessing or jumping to that conclusion yet either that she's guilty. We always presume innocence, but it's not a legal defense against being guilty in and of itself.
Yeah, absent malice, you usually get lesser terms if there are terms to be paid. So
well, let's tell the folks out there what we're talking about. And folks, if you wonder why I don't say the name, the moniker she's been given, it's because it's a reference to something that's lewd. And so there's an expectation when you come to this channel that I don't do that. And so that's why I'm very careful. So we'll just call her Hawk Girl. And who knows, given Marvel's track record, she might be the next big star. Her crypto project accused of rug pull after huge sell-off. Now, do I think that Miss Haliey Welch is sophisticated to have understood? Is she sufficiently sophisticated to understand how meme coins work and cryptocurrency works? No. But this is the problem with having rapid celebrity status, even at the Z tier, is that there are plenty of people who will send you to the big house so that they can have a bigger house themselves. And trust me, the house is not the same when the house comes calling. Haliey Welch, better known, and by the way, this is out of Gizmodo. Haliey Welch, better known online as the HT girl, who became an overnight internet sensation with a woman on the street interview, launched her own cryptocurrency on Wednesday. Welch has turned her 15 minutes of internet fame into a full-blown new media endeavor with a podcast. But the content creator was immediately on the defensive after the market cap of her token hit $490 million, only to plunge over 90% just a few hours later. The HT cryptocurrency, listed as Hawk, was launched on the Solana blockchain and has been billed as a meme coin, crypto that gets a big boost in price thanks to widespread internet attention. Welch told Fortune magazine that Hawk was not just a cash grab, and this is where it gets messy, because it's not just her moniker that was attached to it. They used her, or perhaps she was involved in it herself. Who knows? Maybe she's a memeologist. Maybe she's a cryptologist. I don't know. But she's been weighing in culture. So this is what gets her in trouble. And when people enter into areas that they have no expertise, especially when they don't have expertise in anything to begin with, they can quickly and rapidly find themselves in places they don't want to be, breaking laws they don't even know exist, and costing people money that they never even understood the mechanics behind it. So when she came out and told Fortune that this was not just a cash grab, she starts to weigh in on the way that this will play out. Now, let's read one more. We won't go too deep into this. We'll just say that lots of people lost lots of money. I want to go to Unilad right now.com. This one by Joe Yates. And it says, Haliey Welch has been doing all right for herself since shooting to stardom, without actually wanting to find fame, after she gave a not safe for work comment to the question of what gets some people going. There you go. That's as cleanly as I can put it. Folks, you can read exactly how she became so famous on here. And given the way that she came to fame, I'm not sure that it's a shock that this is not going well. We're going to Unilad, though, because we have a response now, and I want to bring that up to everybody. And that is right here. It says, Welch has denied the accusations that this was a rug pull. It says, Hawkonomics team hasn't sold one token, and not one KOL was given one free token. She tweeted in a copy and pasted message. And, by the way, that's exactly right, because whoever is running that account, maybe her, took the time to say copy and pasting. In other words, now she's figured out it's time to stop weighing in culture. And so it says, we tried to stop snipers as best we could through high fees in the start of launch. Fees have now been dropped. And here's what's really funny. The community notes have landed. So community notes landed on this response from the Hawk girl. And the community notes say, the team and insiders have actually been selling their tokens since launch. A majority have never purchased anything and have only sold the tokens they were given. And this is in the community notes. I'm not saying this. This is in the community notes. Haliey is lying and will likely have to talk to a judge about this. Culture, how much trouble is this young lady in right now?
I don't know, but that pun was hysterically funny at the end there. She's in big trouble. Look, I mean, if she is misleading people or she's just regurgitating information that quote unquote team was passing along to her, she should have already acquired a lawyer. Anytime you enter into this kind of a mechanism, you should already have looked for representation and spoken to somebody about it so that you are fully aware of what the risks could be, including liability. Then this is going to be a legal liability, a financial liability for her going forward. Now, here's the thing that could save her. And Pro, I think if this is true, then it's going to be hard to prove malice that she was involved in a scheme to pump and dump a coin, is if she hasn't sold any of the coins she was given herself.
Right.
So that's
she should
easy
probably
to
stop talking, stop copying and pasting. Like she should go. Yeah, this should be blackout time. She should go totally. I mean, we're not her attorney. We can't give her legal advice. But if it were us, and we would never be in this position, by the way, but if it was, it's time to shut up. It's time to lawyer up, and it's time to start praying that you don't go to jail for a long, long time. But this is the danger, culture, and this is why, well, let me make a connection here that I don't think it's too far a stretch. I want you to think for a moment about Rachel Zegler. Now, Zegler is not doing this sort of thing, right? Because Zegler has a team that's been built up around her to protect her. Whereas it looks to me like this Haliey Welch girl, she's been thrown to the wolves. But Zegler is snatched up by Steven Spielberg, put on the silver screen, and in a very rapid fashion, she becomes a celebrity.
Right.
Well, she doesn't know how to handle that. No. Because, and the idea that almost anybody could handle it is you can't even fathom what it's like to say something and all of a sudden millions and millions and millions of people hang on your every word. And then it happens while you're in your teenage years. But that happens to Zegler, right? And so Zegler is promoted to this position where her ignorance and stupidity and her narcissism then are projected and ejected all over the world in such a way that it's amplified to levels these people can't comprehend. And so I think we need to have a conversation in the future about what we're doing to people who will victimize their own selves through their own lack of understanding of how the world works. I really do think that the industry and the mechanics of the internet are setting up the worst of us to get the biggest voices and then fail as largely as they can in front of us. And I'm not sure that's fair.
Well, I think this is a prime example of that exactly happening. And this is going to be something that a lot of people are dealing with. Think about what happens to TikTok influencers and others when they are, rapidly rising, because of some skit or dance or whatever it is. They have no team behind them to help them manage that. They have, no understanding about what happens when you become that popular that quickly with hundreds of millions of followers and things like that. Fortunately, I've had a very slow rise to, not stardom. So, I didn't succumb to anything
you're mature,
like this.
Though, culture. That's the difference too. Many of these people, they haven't lived life.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. If you cannot make your bed and you cannot change the oil on your car and you cannot prepare yourself a meal, then you probably don't need to be running cryptocurrency schemes. Yeah, and you probably don't need to be weighing in on, the Middle Eastern situations. Hello, Zegler. We're back to you for a moment. If you cannot, organize your closet, then maybe you can't organize these really complicated ideas and concepts around the world. But you don't know that because you have all of these people around you praising you because they want your money and they're saying that you're the bestest, greatest ever. And you're really not. You just happen to get plucked up by the system. But that's a really hard lesson to learn, is that you were extremely crazy fortunate, in some ways, and in some ways not. But anyway, at this age, right in their late teens, early 20s, they can't conceptualize that they just hit the lottery in terms of fame. But then the problem is that once you get the fame, the chances that you can handle it well are very, very small. And you need a team of people who care deeply about you and your long-term health, wealth, and everything else in order to take care of you. They don't seem to have that.
Yeah, I think not being worldly may be your greatest enemy. And in this case, whether it be Zegler, of course, who should know better and should have a team of people who have given her media coolness training, she should know better. She doesn't. She's nearly 25, if I remember correctly. And, she should have a little more under her. But I don't think Haliey, in this case, the hot girl, has been exposed to very much outside of her the life that is directly around her. Her world and her worldview is very limited. So, yeah, I think you're right, Pro. I think there will be a considerable number of people that will be affected in this way that don't really recognize the consequences of these types of actions.
Right. And there's this other really bizarre thing going on. There are lots of victims in this culture.
Oh, yeah.
One type of victim is, I saw some comments, and I'm not going to put it up on the screen because I think that might re-victimize the person if we do so. And you never know. It can be a troll who's making it up. But one person was talking about how much they had invested because they're a super fan of this girl she only has fame because she said something so lewd and inappropriate that it caught the public's attention, right? And so, but because she became famous, there are these people who they latch on to people who are famous. So she has super fans, even though she's just a normal person who said something lewd. And this super fan apparently bought a ton of this stock thinking, well, not stock, by the way, this meme coin. They bought a ton of this crypto thinking that, they're big fans of Haliey and she'll never let me down. And so they put all this money in there and they lost it. And now they're posting online about, how could you do this? Help us, please, and this kind of stuff. And you're like, this is a 22-year-old girl who has no idea. Like, I wouldn't let her drive my car. And you're begging for your life savings to come back and her to give you an answer. So there are victims all around. And I just think that perhaps we need to educate people better on how the internet works, how quick fame can arise, what you should do with that fame. And we need to start calling out some of these very dodgy podcast kind of places where their goal is to take advantage of naive people as best they possibly can. And a lot of these people, too, are very incendiary. I'm thinking about Destiny right now. That's an online personality and some of the stuff that's been going on there. You've got a lot of people who are extraordinarily destructive, but they know how to walk up to the line of destruction. But there are plenty of people who don't know how to stop stepping over that line. And they step over into the line of illegal, right? Yeah. All of it's destructive. All of it is stuff that you don't want to be involved in. We need to do a better job, I think, of explaining and conceptualizing this, because it is a new phenomenon, right? Yeah,
no arguments there. And again, a lot of people just need, if you're looking at something like this or this kind of an investment, realize it's more volatile usually than the stock market. And the reason they're called meme coins is because they're incredibly unstable and may not be here tomorrow. So they have the relevance of a meme, which means it can last for, a few days, or it can last for, decades. But the chances are, better than not that you won't be in good shape at the end of the purchase. So it's like all of the NFTs that we warned people about as well.
Oh my gosh, what a scam. Yeah. Let me show this to you, Coach. This is where we'll wrap it, folks. This is out of Fortune, hosted by Gizmodo, and it says this. Welch says that she used to think of crypto as just a scam and an easy way for you to lose money, but changed her mind after attending the conferences. When asked what aspects of crypto appealed to her, she said it was a really good thing and a good way to interact with my fans. Welch wasn't aware of any specific benefits that her meme coin holders would receive, though her manager added that they plan to have, quote, more fan engagements around it, unquote, without offering further details. Culture, people who rise to enormous fame very quickly, I think, can sometimes be like poker players who have never played a single thing except one hand of rummy. And by the way, that's not poker. But then they sit down at a table with people who know what they're doing. They have tons and tons of cash, and they don't know whether a straight beats a flush. And right now, Hawk Girl is about to get flushed through the legal system, potentially. And it's a cautionary tale for so many other Z-lister internet famous people who need to be very careful about who they associate with, how they associate with others. This is going to go very poorly for this young woman who minus one extremely lewd recorded comment would never be known and might be living a fairly average but good life that is not going to come her way if this kind of stuff continues to go on. Culture, final thoughts.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I also think that you're going to have to start looking at whatever this management has told her, because there's a decent chance that they're the ones that placed her in harm's way and ultimately could be more liable or even the liable party when it comes to this. Again, if you hire somebody in a professional capacity to take care of your bookings and your overall career, you would anticipate that they would be setting you on a stable footing. So I think the culpability will be spread out, but ultimately it sounds like the burden may fall upon the manager. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just going to say I would think that she could pivot to that and say, look, I was taking advice from a person that I hired to professionally represent me.
That's right. And folks, we doubt any of you out there are going to create your own meme cryptocurrencies, but in your own lives, something you can take away from this video if you don't understand how the money works in an investment, you don't have to be in that investment. Invest in things you understand with people who will help you hand in hand know where the money is going. And in this case, what a horrible situation where somebody who doesn't understand it probably is involved in something that looks like bank robbery with millions and millions and millions of dollars at stake and probably never understood a single thing about it. All right, folks. Well, that's the video for today. It's a cautionary tale, and it's a story that may become one we all know too well when it comes to these very rapid celebrities who rise and then flame out quickly. Hopefully, it doesn't happen to too many others. But, folks, we hope that you will send this out so people will discover it, know about it, and share it out so that people can stay safe. Click the like button, share, subscribe, click it and stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts and join in a community dialogue right on down below. And folks, until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, we wish you well. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
What? What? I put out a tweet of a fat minority with a booger in her nose, and I said, "This is an empowered woman." And Katako retweeted it.
You don't have your own X account, do you?
Oh, well, I actually created it a while ago. The greatest troll I've pulled off in a long time. Do you know how many things I've secretly tanked?
Oh gosh, I hope not. That would make me legally culpable. But, what are you talking about?
Sweet Baby Inc.
Huh?
Yep. I'm the...
Shut up.
I'm the CEO. Yeah, no, seriously, look, this is my profile picture. Everyone's just AI. It's great. I'm so excited to gaslight everyone and see what they're gonna like next because they think it's socially obligated.
Wait, so you're... No way, you're
Yep.
the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc.?
Maybe. But first, you should see the jewelry company I created.
We're gonna get sued. Oh.
It's yeah, it's gonna be good.